Hey gamers, it's Joe the Apostate Cow, and this is kind of a remake of a video that I made a few weeks ago, but I had contemplated leaving YouTube, and I deleted all of my videos. But this is one that, now that I'm kind of decided to keep trying, this is a video that I feel really strongly about, and so I want to remake it here. And that is, I want to talk about this notion put forward by people like Review Tech USA and a few other people that the current gen consoles, the PS4, Xbox One, are that this generation is going to be much shorter than last gen, and that we'll probably see new consoles by 2018. Okay, this is something that Review Tech has said a number of times, and I disagree with him. And again, it's not just him. There's been a few other people that have said similar things. And their reasoning behind this is they say things like, well, these consoles are underpowered compared to, the high-end gaming PCs and whatnot. And I'm not going to dispute that at all. It's probably true. Okay. In fact, I know it is. I know it's true. I'm not going to dispute that point. But that's one of their reasons. Another reason is they say, well, the last gen console only lasted so long because the economy was bad and the economy's getting better. That it was the norm that we had new consoles every 5 years. That used to be the norm, right? New gen consoles every 5 years. Okay, I'm here to say it's no longer the norm. Okay, and I'm going to give you my reasons for that. Now, I won't be talking about Nintendo. Nintendo's kind of the odd man out. They do their own thing. They're a bit more of a niche company that they're operating on a different wavelength. You know what I mean? And it's not a dig against Nintendo. It's just that it's different than talking about Xbox and PlayStation. Okay. The last gen lasted as long as it did, not only because of the economy. Yes, that's true. That was part of it. But I got news for you. I don't want to get into politics here, but the economy isn't all that much better, especially in the States, okay? If you believe that the economy's recovered, I got a bridge to sell you, okay? So that's the first thing. But that's not the only reason why. It's because AAA games are getting more and more expensive and time-consuming to make, okay? A 3-year development cycle is now the standard. Okay, I mean, even Call of Duty, a game that still comes out every year, is now on a 3-year development cycle. Activision has 3 studios that work on Call of Duty now over a 3-year development cycle for each game. That's a lot of time, that's a lot of money, that's a lot of manpower working on those games. All right, and again, there are games that take longer than 3 years. I guarantee you right now, there are games in development on the for PS4 and Xbox One in the early stages that we won't even see till late 2017, possibly early 2018. All right, I guarantee you that. Look at all the studios that have gone under. Look at THQ. Look at Team Bondi and all these. I mean, THQ is a publisher that went under. The AAA gaming industry is under a real financial strain right now because gamers demand a lot out of these games and don't want to pay more than $60, which is completely understandable. But on the other hand, it costs a fortune to make these games, and it takes a lot of time. And so I asked this question when I first made this video. I'm going to ask it again here. Do you think that these developers, or Sony and Microsoft, want to go back to a 0 install base in 4 years? I think if you think that they're okay with that, you're crazy. No way. Okay? I think that the next time we should get new consoles is 2020. The fall of 2020 at the earliest. I don't care how underpowered they are, people. All right, there's simply no way that they can financially sustain making. I mean, look, if they were to do this, if you think there's a lot of cross-gen games now, right? Games coming out on PS4 and Xbox One, PS3 and 360, it's going to be like nothing you've ever seen if they come out with a PS5 or another Xbox in 2018. You're going to see cross-gen games for 5 years after that. Okay, there's just no way they're going to go to just making games for another gen of consoles in only 4 years. No way. Because people are not just going to, it's not like they're immediately going to go out. And I think the reason these current gen consoles are even selling as well as they are is because of how long the last gen lasted. But still 14 million, what do we have? 14 million PS4s and probably, I don't know the exact numbers on the Xbox One, 8 million, 9 million, whatever it is, okay? The last gen consoles, PS3 and 360, they're at something like 85 million each worldwide. Okay, the install bases for those consoles are huge. Now, you're going to say, well, those people are not necessarily all gamers. They might just use them for Netflix or something. But the point is, when you put out a game on PS3 and 360, you know there's a huge install base. They are not going to want to go back to zero in just another 4 years. Not with how long it takes to make these games, not with how expensive it is to make these games. Review Tech Talk and other people, they say, well, phones, you get a new phone every 2 years. Yeah, but you don't spend $60 a game on these phones. And not only that, but the phones, as far as I know, I could be wrong because I don't do mobile gaming. But aren't they backwards compatible? Can't you re-download your old games, let's say on your new iPhone that you played on your old iPhone? Won't they generally work? That's my understanding. Most of the time these consoles are not backwards compatible. Maybe if the next consoles were fully backwards compatible, it might be a more viable option. But I just think the entire gaming industry would implode if we had another gen in just 4 years. It may have been the norm before, but you're talking about the early 2000s when a 2-year development cycle was average or long. Okay, there were games that were put out could be churned out in 14 months. It's not the case anymore, man. It's just not the case. It's not the 90s. It's not the early 2000s. We're in a different era. And AAA games cost a fortune and take a long time to make. And these devs and Sony and Microsoft are not going to want to go back to, nobody has, only a handful of people have the console again. Sorry, that's how I feel about it. I will be shocked and amazed if we get new consoles in 2018. And I'll tell you flat out, I won't be buying them. I won't be buying them probably for 2 years after that, easily, if not longer. So, tell me what you think. If you think I'm wrong, then tell me why. Like I said, to me, it doesn't matter how underpowered these consoles are. This is about economics. This is about people wanting value in their purchases, wanting to know that the game library that they're building on these consoles is going to be relevant for a number of years. Guys, I still play on my PS3. There are tons of gamers out there. I was just in GameStop recently. You know how many people I saw buying Xbox 360 and PS3 games? A ton of them. A ton of them. Okay? Or I don't know, trading them in maybe. But the point is, I saw a lot of people with PS3 and Xbox 360 games in their hands. I went in at a busy time. It was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I guess a lot of kids got out of school or whatever. But yeah, my point is, though, is that last gen is not dead at all. It's not, okay? Despite the fact that we might kind of want it to die, it's not. And I think the idea that oh yeah, people are just going to go out by the millions and buy new consoles in 2018, no. Big mistake in your thinking, because it's not just about, if we lived in an ideal world where everybody had a shit ton of money and a shit ton of space to put all these consoles, it might be a different story, but that's not the world we live in. And like I said, it's just doesn't seem to me to be a realistic proposition for the developers and for the manufacturers of the hardware, financially speaking, at all. So that's my view. Tell me what you guys think. Rate, comment, subscribe if you're new. Yeah, that's it. Talk to you later.